Yeah.
I'm hitting rec.
No, you do not have my permission.
I've never actually heard that before. Have you guys?
No.
Yeah, it's all the time when I go on Zooms with people, because they record it automatically to reflect back. Anyway, we're live, so I'm not gonna.
I kind of wanted you to just keep telling the story about it. Hi everybody.
Nothing. Boring.
You're not gonna tell the story. Hi everybody. We are back. It's Monday afternoon here in the UK, and for Melissa over in Toronto, it's early morning-ish time. We're gonna keep the conversations going, and I think it's this week and even into this month. Our topic is going to be around compassion. So while I do the other little bit of links, I'll just say hi to Melissa and Michelle. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I heard some like other noise, so that's why I was confused for a second. But I'm tired, but I'm good.
That wasn't in your head, that was out loud. I was just checking the Facebook Live, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you thought it was in your head. It's to me all the time, I totally get that.
Yeah, like I don't know what's in or what's out anymore in general. So that's where I'm at. Michelle, how are you, my dear?
I'm good today, I'm good.
Yes.
How
is that enough, Nick, of delaying?
That's good. We're linked everywhere.
Small talk. We're like deep into it.
Yeah. Guys, we wanted to set this intention of trying to bring you guys more content around what we're doing with Retribe. And as I just said at the beginning, we want to try to keep the conversation going that Mental Health Awareness Week had, but it's also this idea that our mental well-being and our mental health are all intertwined in our well-being as humans. And we've got some great subjects and topics that we can discuss over the next days and weeks and months to come. So we just want to make this a regular place, a regular time, like a couple of times a week, to be able to come to you guys live. And if you have any questions, please think about them. If you have any topics that you want us to discuss, maybe if there's something that you need to discuss privately as well, you can talk to us about that. Yeah, so if you want to put anything in the questions, go ahead. But let's start off on compassion and what compassion means to us. So who wants to kick this off?
Yikes. I'll say what's on my brain because I might forget it. So I think, my idea or understanding of compassion has changed a lot. I think for me right now, where I'm at in my life or where I've been in my life, it's more about compassion being an act. It's not something that we all have inherently. It's a choice, like a lot of other things in life, right? It becomes a choice for us to navigate the world through that kind of lens of compassion. Can I sit in in someone else's suffering? Can I sit in my own suffering with tenderness? Because I think we can't know compassion without knowing suffering. It's the same, we can't know grief without knowing love. So it is the idea of it's not something we have or don't have. It's something that we have to consciously invite into our practice of being alive, essentially. That's where I'm at right now.
Michelle?
Period.
Capital letter. For me, compassion is something that you can offer yourself that's super gentle, and that you then in turn offer somebody else that is super gentle. And compassion doesn't mean that something is okay, but it means that you understand the situation as it presents itself. So if somebody's coming at you with something that you don't necessarily agree with, but you can understand their point of view or where they're coming from or their pain and their trauma, you can have compassion for the situation and invite kindness into that situation without it being okay. And when I think of being compassionate, it always reminds me to be more gentle with myself if it's negative self-talk, or if it's the words that I'm going to use with somebody else. But it doesn't mean that it's okay. It doesn't mean you say yes. You can still say no with compassion. So for me, it's a way of navigating all of that and still staying true to the situation, and having those boundaries in place. For me, that's really that's kind of what it brings into my being.
It's interesting that you both say that compassion comes from something, comes from out of a struggle, and I'm interested to know that it's either a personal struggle or even just the judgment of a struggle or someone else's struggle. Because normally, like I hear, oh, just be more compassionate or be more kind when people are being unkind, when people are being judgmental. But it's really easy to say to someone, oh, be compassionate and be kind, without actually understanding how do we do it. And that's what I was thinking about when this topic came up, is like, okay, people can tell me to be compassionate, but what does that how do I practice compassion? Lowering my voice, not using harsh or language, being gentle with touch, or not touch, being present, I think, is really what it means for me. And when I was thinking about the word compassion, the word that goes immediately with it for me and where I am today is humility. And then I looked up what humility meant, because I was like, oh, be humble, Nick, just be humble. And humility in basic sense means doing something, an action, without pride or ego. And I was like, oh, okay. But most of the time I'm doing something out of pride or ego, because I'm caught up in this thing of like wanting to please or wanting approval. And so what I've learned about humility is it's something I need to practice. It's something I need to obtain, through practices of meditation and, being in a certain situation when maybe I use harsh language, maybe I use judgment of old ideas, and then going, oh, that I'm correcting myself, so it's being aware, because I'm not going to be able to be humble or compassionate all the time. But what I can do is I can try to be aware of my actions, of my words, so that I can learn. So again, humility and compassion are things that I need to obtain and learn. I can't just all of a sudden be it, because I need to understand the dynamics of situations, of relationships.
Yeah. I think it's like a lot with a lot of other things. We try to be very cerebral about it. We try to make the brain understand what's really the heart's job, right? Oh God, does that sound super cheesy? I'm sorry for that, but that's it. It's like getting it from here to here, because that's the thing. It's like everything. And I think what we're trying to actually really cultivate for ourselves and just like as a profession, but as a lived experience, is that it's actually a lived, a known, a felt experience. It's not something we can try to make sense of from our brain and like rationalize it and make it very logical. It is something that our body, or maybe our spirit, whatever language you want, knows. And that we don't know it until we actually like feel it in, like it's the relationship between also maybe our brain and heart, but between other people and between ourselves and ourselves. So that's also the idea, is we try to make sense of something that needs to be known, felt on a deeper level. I think that's and that requires practice and questioning ourselves and being aware and being present and all those things. And also recognizing that we might not know what it feels like when we feel it, but to track it when we are in a place of kindness or understanding, like the way I treat my dog, who's the most tender creature of my life. Well, not one of them, but that's the sometimes she wants to.
When I push
she
her off the
challenges
couch,
me.
she's not tender.
Sometimes she doesn't care. Yeah. That's to you though. But yeah, so anyway, I think the idea is to like bringing it from here to here and making it a known and felt experience, not just something we say, well, just do that. But that's the question. Well, how do I do that? How do I take it from here to here?
It's even just what we just to talk about Mago. Mago is Melissa's dog, if anybody wants to know. And this couch that I'm on, when Melissa comes over and visits, and sometimes she goes out and I dog sit Mago. And I was like, Mago's not allowed on my couch, because Mago's hair is fine and white and my couch is dark blue. And yeah, Melissa was like, yeah, she'll make a mess of that couch really fast. So I was like, with Mago off the bat, one day I tried to push her off the couch because she got on the couch and she gnarled at me. She went, ah. And I was like, okay, so I thought about it. I was like, who cares? I got a vacuum. It's fine. And I thought about it and I went, she's just comfortable. She's in her spot. And then the next time that I think, Mel, you came over and you were like, Margot's on the couch. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. And I think that that's just because I had learned a bit of compassion, because she's just comfortable there. It's not a real big deal. And I can vacuum up the hairs anyway. And I'm not allergic to it. It's no big deal. So I think that is just a really simple example of learning a little bit of tenderness around, this beautiful dog that I love and I care about. And it's really not hurting anybody by being on the couch. I know that's a really kind of weird tangent, but it is an example of learning and practicing things.
Yeah, but part of me is also like, you need boundaries with my dog, Nick. You need to be the alpha with dogs. Anyway, but that's a whole other topic. But I saw it happen in real life. But I think the idea behind that too is like, why do I need things to be this way? Like, why? Like, why does it have to stay in this container of things and look this way? And then just really reflecting on like, is it the worst thing in the world if I fill in the blank, right? So also that's where we invite in that curiosity too, because what's compassion without being curious about what is present for us? Michelle, I think I cut you off, sorry.
No worries. I was just, as you were both talking, I was just thinking about the difference that we show in terms of compassion, what it means to us, to ourselves and other people. So, if that had been yourself, Nick, if in a different situation, would you have given yourself that room? And it's like, I'm a firm believer of you can only meet somebody else in the same level that you've met yourself, and everything, but when you go and try and overextend yourself for somebody else, it creates complications, I think, when you reflect back at yourself. And it's, would I give this to myself, and why, and how would I do this for myself? And once you start doing that for yourself, or you understand it in your own life, you can witness it in your own life, you start being able to naturally be able to understand it for other people, and break those kinds of, why is this a container? Why is it that I want the couch to be clean 24/7? And it's never to do with this situation. It's always to do with something else, right? It's that familiarity, that pattern, that thinking that you know something and actually you've never even questioned it. So it is getting curious.
It's like people don't get divorced because the dishes are in the sink, right? It's not ever about the dishes, but it's easy to think. That was an example I used when my people were struggling. Anyway, it's not about the dishes. It's about the other things. I'm not sure why I said that, but I think too, the idea also is, yes, how do we engage with somebody else if we don't engage with ourselves the same way? And how can we meet somebody in their suffering if we haven't met ourselves in our own suffering? It can't actually happen, or it can, but not on the deep kind of needing for transformation and full out compassion from here, not here. So it's the idea, like, can you sit with your own suffering so that when you need to sit with somebody else in their suffering, you can fully as present as possible.
So for me, to sum it up, my version is that I cannot be compassionate all of the time, and that compassion is something that I'm learning. But for me to truly learn it, to be compassionate towards others, I really do have to work on a relationship with myself so that I can be aware of situations where I need to show compassion. That's my kind of summary. You guys?
Yeah.
Got 1 minute.
Summary of compassion. Michelle, do you want to?
For me, it's understanding that the situation is how it is, and it's how you want to meet that situation, or meet that feeling, meet that emotion, and how do you want to be present within that. And it doesn't have to be okay, but you can understand why anger is there, you can understand why pain is there, why fear is there. It's the understanding of why things come to you in that moment, and being gentle. For me, compassion is all about being gentle with yourself, and knowing then how to move forward.
Nice.
Yes, I think it's the both, and it's another relationship we get to invite in our lives, right? And it is this dance between light and dark, right? It's this constant kind of, it's in motion, like everything else is in motion. So it is I think compassion for me for now is an act, it's a choice, and it's a dance between the parts of me that are easy to love and the parts of me that are not too easy to love, and doing the same for other people.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wait, was that okay? Easy to love, because we should. No, I'm not happy with that, but I'm gonna leave it there.
Do you know what?
I didn't like
You
that.
can always check it out because we've recorded it and it's always on Facebook. So
You know,
there
I
you
don't
go.
watch these things back, but anyway, I'll figure out what I mean by that after.
Okay, thank you guys
That's it.
for joining us. That's it. We're wrapping up with 15 minutes. So thank you very much. We're going to be here on Wednesday at the same time, Michelle, is that correct?
3 p.m. on Wednesday, and we're talking about compassion as a relationship. So the relationship that we have with compassion, and going deeper into how that plays out in scenarios in work life and personal life.
That's good.
Wow.
So I did actually lead it into that without consciously saying that. There we go. Good for me. Okay.
Beautiful. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday at 3 p.m. BST. And Mel, you'll be at whatever time it is in EST, I think it is. Anyway, we'll see you when we see you. Lots of love. Bye, guys.
See you soon, guys. Take care.